My apologies. I now call the meeting to order. CAO Downey, do we have quorum for the meeting?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Are there any council members who need to declare a conflict of interest on any agenda items this evening?
I do. Grant.
Okay. Do you already have the?
No.
Okay.
Just get that one.
There you go. Okay. Okay, so next up is the adoption of the agenda. I will just note that we did make a change today, so if you didn't look at it today, sorry, Hannah, what did we add?
Yeah, we're going to add number 11D.
11D.
Yeah, 11D.
The emergency mutual aid agreement.
Yeah.
So we had discussed previously, but it wasn't on the agenda till today. Okay, so it would now take a motion to adopt the agenda in its current form. Do I have a mover? Councillor Gingras? Do I have a seconder? Councillor Savoy? Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the agenda in its new form, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so the next item is the adoption of the minutes from the September 17th, 2024 regular meeting. Do we have any amendments to make to the minutes presented? Okay, do I have a mover? Councillor Savoy? Do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Martin?
The touchy
Everybody go to sleep?
That's the first time that's happened.
Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the minutes from the September 17th, 2024 regular meeting, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so do we have, the next item is questions from the public. Do we have any submitted
I
questions?
don't have any submissions, no.
Okay, and our only public member is here for presentation. Did you have questions before we move on? Okay.
So where it says motion carried 5-0, it should be 4-0.
Oh, because
Yeah.
Eric's not here.
Eric's not here.
That's okay. I'll
Okay.
change it after. Yeah.
I just noticed it.
Okay, so the next item is petitions, requests, and/or delegations, and we have a presentation, so we'll have you take the podium. Oh, I'll give you the,
I probably don't need a mic.
if it's recorded, yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so the only reason I wanted to come in front of council was just to let them know that I'm going to be having the 3rd annual Maple Hills Food Drive on November the 30th. We're going to do it in conjunction with the Breakfast with Santa here at the center. I just like to keep you guys appraised of when it is, so if somebody brings it up, at least you know what they're talking about. Because where we called it the Maple Hills Food Drive, it was kind of nice for the council to know about it and when it is. So if there's anybody that wants to be involved, just let me know. It doesn't have to be a great big deal. If you want to take, 3 hours that Saturday morning, get out, touch base with a few of your constituents. It's kind of good. They see in your ward that you're out, collecting food for the Food Depot Alimentaire. Kind of shows community service, and it gives you a chance to touch base with a few people and let them see your face, and they know you're doing something. So, Mark, I wanted to ask you if you could get me a name and a phone number so I could contact them at the Golden Age Club. That breakfast that they did last year and they let me set up there, that went over very well. We actually did really well there. So if I could get a name and a number that I could contact, I think you have my phone number, eh?
If not, I can get it.
Okay, just give me a call with it, and I get an answer machine, so you can leave a message so I can get a hold of them and just see. I'll touch base so that I don't show up and they don't even know I'm coming. So.
I'll find out, they do their breakfast on second or third Sunday of the month.
Yes.
I will find out the next one, which
November.
In November?
In November when would be
And
good, yeah.
I'll make myself available for that one.
Awesome, that'd be great. And I think I have a lady from your riding that was at the church meeting. She gave me her name and phone number, and she's going to set up with the church out there. It's the Baptist church, and I can't remember what. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't remember which one it was, but she's going to set up with them and do a collection through the church. So I'm going to, like the week before, so I'm going to get a hold of her and let her know what the date is and that, and she said she'd be glad to help. So we're growing it and growing it. Last year we were the Food Depot told me we were right there with the Santa Claus parade. They didn't know who would have more, us or them. And we raised $6,500 worth of food and cash last year. So my goal is I'd like to get to 10,000. So anything that we can, anybody that can help or in any way. And like I say, 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday morning, doesn't matter if you bring one tote of food. It all adds up. So, and we've been actually getting really good turnouts with our volunteers. So I'm assuming you're in again this year, Chad?
Yeah.
I knew you would be, and I know Erica is, so.
So I think you forgot something.
What?
Well, about what will be happening here for the ones that didn't attend last year.
Well, I set up outside, like, right outside the main entrance of the community center
With a trailer.
with my trailer, and that's where everybody brings their stuff, and like anybody that collects brings it here and drops it off at the trailer. But I'm also set up there with a table and taking donations there. So Mark is supposed to advertise that on the Facebook for the center for that morning, that I will be here doing the food drive. So, and I got really good response last year too there, and I set up in the trailer there for the day, and that way there everybody's got a spot where anybody does collections. It's a central spot where you can come and drop off, and makes it easy for everybody. So anyway, it's been really good, and we've had really great volunteer support. So I just want to keep it up and keep growing it. So thank you.
Oh, you're not going yet.
Oh, okay.
Just as you were talking, I was just thinking, because I remember last year we talked about potentially having one location that people can just drop off at their leisure type of thing instead of one day.
Right.
Have you thought about reaching out to Andrew and Nate with TH Sports? With all the families coming in from out of town as well,
yeah.
that may be a good benefit to help out you guys as well.
We could just set up like a box there.
Just have a box, and that's everything secure with them anyways, so if they're
Yeah.
not there, it's locked, so that might be a good option for you
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, I will. What's the best time of day to get a hold of him?
He's always,
He's there now?
Monday through Friday is always there.
Okay, well, once I'm done here, I might go in and see him and just talk to him and see, because, yeah, we could put that up and put a sign up there, non-perishables, that could be there for 3 weeks before the food drive.
Yep, and
So people that are coming in every week would know it's there.
have reached out to any of the schools around?
No,
No? Because I know your big thing was to get the kids involved.
yeah,
And I'm just thinking, because I know there's going to be different things that I'm going to have Moncton High School involved with and their kids from out here.
yeah,
It might be worth reaching out to all the different schools that pull from our area as well, because we've got a lot of youth that probably join in as well, and it's a good initiative.
yeah.
I know it's adding a lot to the
No,
plate, but
yeah, it is, it's,
and
yeah,
I'll obviously help out any way I can.
okay. You have a contact at Moncton High?
I have a contact. I'm not sure about for that, but I'll make a contact for that if I can.
Okay. Okay, yeah, if we can do that, like, yeah, we could reach out there, I guess that's the same thing, right? We could just put something at the school,
Yep.
like a collection bin or something.
And I have been in contact with the principal
Or,
at Mountain View.
or you can encourage the students to go collect food and bring
Well,
it here on Saturday.
Yeah, that's another thing they could do as well, but I've been speaking with the principal at Mountain View, and she would probably be up for that. She's pretty big on community and stuff like that as
Yeah.
well, so, yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
well, if you can see what you can come up with, and if you want to just, like, give me some contact people that I can get a hold of.
yeah,
And then I'll have to figure out some way of some kind of bins or something.
I'm sure we could probably
there.
get those donated one way or the other through companies, but my only request
Well, I
is
can
just-
get them black totes, I can get them from the food bank.
Yeah.
Or the Food Depot Elementaire, I can get them from them.
Okay.
So
My
I
only
guess
request is don't, just make sure it doesn't rain.
on the day, yeah, I don't know, I got a little bit of pull, I don't know if I got that much pull or not.
For the record, it was a complete torrential downpour
Yeah, it wasn't warm either.
Not nice.
Okay,
I just want to say that the high schools do have like a competition for the food bank.
yeah,
So there might be, they might
Kind
be
of a
already
conflict.
doing things, so, yeah, all the local high schools, they have a huge competition based on weight and money as well, but they fill up the bus and stuff like that.
oh yeah, so that's probably, if they're gonna do anything, they're gonna do it for their high school.
Probably, yeah, I would say
Which
probably,
makes
but.
sense, but
yeah.
the Mountain View one, that is a good.
Exactly.
You even, well, you were involved with Magnetic Hill in that.
Yeah, I don't know what Mag Hill does, so, but that would be another good school to hit up. Yeah, the principal, she's really nice. I mean, you just email her and she'll be very accommodating.
I'm probably more apt to get in my truck and drive out to the school and go see her. I start emailing her, she'll think I'm an idiot. I'm not a tech savvy probably as a lot of you are.
Probably just thinks you're looking for food.
Yeah,
She might think that if he shows up.
yeah, well, you never know. Now I'm gonna have to get cleaned up a little bit if I'm gonna start going out in the public.
Just because I want to make sure everyone knows the difference between the Food Depot and the Food Depot Elementaire. Okay,
Yeah. So we're good? No
Good.
more questions?
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. All right, so next up, we have council member reports, and first up is Deputy Mayor Martin. Oh, oh, do that again. Okay. We must have just pressed it at the same time.
I think so. All right. So, fair bit of stuff going on. One thing I have to say right off the bat was I have received a decent amount of complaints regarding the parking lot and the driveway. And you heard me say earlier, we may actually have a damage repair request come in. Did get some tailings today. I volunteered to spread those at no charge. Also in regards to the bridges as well, I have reached out to a bunch of people kind of trying to help fill in for the lack of staff at the moment. Having a difficult time actually having people come out and quote it. A lot of them are saying either they're too busy, the job is not big enough for them for the work they have now, or if they can quote it, they're not going to be able to get out for the most part until later on next year. Was able to get one quote that was submitted, and the gentleman that did our snow removal last year, while he was here, he had a look at it, and he's going to submit a quote for large culverts as well as an option. Going on a more positive note, we had really good turnout for the trails. Yeah, the residents were phenomenal. Good feedback. I was actually surprised at the feedback, in all honesty. Just so happened we had an arborist come late the second day and just gave us a ballpark figure. He said the work that the volunteers did, he would equate to approximately $15,000 worth of work if hired by a company. And that would not include spreading, et cetera. There is over 3 kilometers of trails, all single track, so on and so forth. Battlefield Cat was willing to donate some equipment, which helped and went a long way, and which utilizes the material there, so nothing goes to waste at all. Overall, as you guys and everyone knows, I rescinded the grant request. A board has been willing to come forward, an individual willing to lead that if council's willing to work with them, to which they will submit a grant request under them, and they will follow their own deal to take care of it and go so on and so forth if there is a appetite for it and a willingness to have a budget that they can actually work with. And they're willing to search up other volunteers, other companies, et cetera. Overall, in this weekend, rough estimate of cost to the volunteers was about $350 to $400 between your fuel, your food, as well as incidentals that take place, like your marking paint and your tape, as well as there was a chainsaw chain that got broken, so stuff like that. Overall, I just want to say everything I'm hearing in general with Maple Hills and the way it's going, I've had some more positive feedback from people. People are really coming around. Normally this time of year, we start getting the questions as soon as they see budget that taxation and so on's coming up. People are much more understanding this year, I will say. Obviously, taxation is still a concern, but they're excited with the things that have been happening, all the extra traffic and so on that's been coming in with TH Sports. Excited to see more to come, so that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, Councillor Estee.
Am I on? Okay. Over the past, since our last meeting here last week, budget meeting, I've reached out to many residents about the budget and a couple of the budget items that we had seen on the preliminary budget. I don't really want to spend any time on this meeting talking about the budget, even though it weighs heavy on my mind, because that's where my mind is a lot. But one thing is, I did circulate, there was, not that it's finalized, but there was a $50,000 line item added for branding, where Maple Hills could basically design a logo. And so instead of, spending the community money in that way, I had a logo designed, actually 3 logos designed, which I circulated amongst the council, and I paid for it myself. And potentially maybe have a contest where the people pick the logo. But anyway, I just wanted to state that I had done that. It was kind of on just from speaking to the residents, and I said I wouldn't go down this path, and I won't, but just a lot of the residents were a little bit, they're going to see the property tax bills at the end of the day, and a lot of people have lived out here for decades with very little government, and they were quite content doing so. And if we can bring a couple extra services to the community at very small cost to them, I think, they'd appreciate it, as opposed to, going the other way and pushing it a little, too hard. And so I just feel that logo may sort of serve that end. Thanks.
Okay. So to that end, I am going to have that added to the next committee of the whole meeting. Councillor Jean Gras.
I just want to, it's hunting season, so I want to remind all the pedestrians out there, or all the walkers out there, to make sure they're wearing their hunter orange. Hunting season started October 1st for small game, and right now you'll be hearing basically gunshots everywhere with duck, goose, all waterfowl, small game, and right now we have archery season for deer has started. So make sure you're wearing your hunter orange when you're in the woods. Another thing to be wary of is that this Sunday, Sunday hunting starts. So if you're out in the woods and thinking that, it's Sunday, so there's no hunting, well, that ends this weekend. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Savoie.
My report is a little longer than usual because I've attended a few events since we last met. I had the pleasure to attend 2 activities since the last report. In late September, along with Deputy Mayor Martin and Councillor Jean Gras, attended an all-council meeting organized by the Regional Service Commission. I learned at that meeting that when time comes that we are in need of bylaw enforcement officers, there is a company that other municipalities hire on a day-to-day basis that we could reach out to. Also had the opportunity to, along with Mayor, Councillor Jean Gras, and CAO Downey, to attend the AGM, UMNB AGM and conference 2 weekends ago. During the weekend, I attended a conference on parks and recreation. And the speaker showed a study that shows that young families have requirement to go back to the small municipalities where they grew up and to reestablish themselves, and it's parks and recreations. That being said, I think we need to invest moderately, consciously, and very carefully, but invest we must. I realize that most people have been talking about maintaining this way of life that we have in this municipality. And this, to maintain that way of life, we have to have a certain growth. You have to attract some people because population being what it is, you get decreases in population, so we need to attract new people. And Parks and Recreation is one of the key factors in bringing young families. And that's my my report. And lastly, I want to thank our great staff for the great work they've been doing while being short. Thank you.
Okay. I'll give this to you when I'm done, so you don't have to write mine.
Oh, absolutely, yep.
Okay, so, I guess I should have printed a few more of these, but I think we'll be okay. So this will be part of my report. Yeah, we're good. Do you want to, yeah, maybe just, since there's only two of them, we can hand them, because we don't have it up on the screen. We'll let them, it's,
The
yeah,
members of the
sure.
public, sure.
I kind of forgot Chanel wouldn't be here to be able to put it up. Okay. So that is in my report. I'll get there in a minute. Okay. Good evening. Hard to believe it's already mid-October, but we've been busy. Council has spent some time with the provincial candidates that responded to our request to meet. We made clear in those meetings the priorities of Maple Hills, regardless of who was elected in the coming weeks. Council wanted to ensure that candidates knew ahead of time what Maple Hills will be looking to work with them on. Among other things, we discussed fiscal reform and DTI responses, as well as the conditions of the roads and ditches. I would also like to take a moment to thank Danielle Elaine. Danielle was our MLA and also the Minister of Local Governance when we took office. Our community has gotten used to having an MLA who worked hard for us, was accessible when we needed him, and gave us answers even when he knew they might not be what we wanted to hear. I don't think there are many in our area that would disagree that he leaves big shoes to fill. Danielle chose not to reoffer, and he will be missed, but we wish him all the best in what the future holds. I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Chad Martin. Wow, having a hard time. Councillor David Gingras and Councillor Marc Savoy for attending the all-council workshop held by the Southeast Regional Service Commission. Council had some questions about the upcoming trails project the region is looking at, what it means for Maple Hills, and the cost. I had previously raised this concern at a budget meeting, and the councillors also brought it to the all-council meeting. The Service Commission is eager to see us all work together and has met with me separately to further discuss. They've decided that they will reach out and come to an upcoming council meeting in November to speak about the trail project, the role of the Service Commission as a whole to the region, and the services that they provide to the municipalities. We'll post that so that anybody that wants to attend will be able to know when they're coming. Just a quick mention that the position of CAO is still open, but the posting has now closed. We have had many candidates apply. Council chose to approach this by establishing a hiring committee. Deputy Mayor Martin, Councillor Esty, and I will sit on this committee. We also have former CAO Yves Legier working with us from an administrative perspective to assist with this process. All of council will be involved with the final interviews and the decision. The committee has simply been established in an effort to be efficient in the process of narrowing down the candidate pool and conducting the first round or two of interviews. Again, a big shout out to Hannah and Chanel for holding down the fort while we're down a staff member. Council appreciates the effort you're both putting forth to keep us going. A week and a half ago, Councillor Gingras, Councillor Savoy, and interim CAO Downey and I attended the UMMB AGM in Fredericton. We had some great sessions. They discussed succession planning, dealing with harassment of elected officials, and strengthening HR policies, to name a few. As well, there were roundtable discussion group where the union collected thoughts on topics such as ATV trails, policing, emergency services, tourism, transportation, and many others. They're using this feedback to determine the direction or approach the members of the union think they should take on these topics with the provincial government. The meeting finished with some motions being passed, improved ambulance coverage and response times, improved cell service, to name a couple. And they will advocate for the municipalities on our behalf on those items. The meeting was very well done, productive, and useful for us in learning and networking. It's great to see the effort they put into getting our feedback and ensuring they are going in the direction the municipalities are looking for. The Public Safety Committee met 2 weeks ago, and the quarterly report that we handed out this evening was discussed at that meeting. This report's brand new, and previously it wasn't separated, so we couldn't see what was specific to Maple Hills. The councillors just got copies this evening. I will say that I delayed because the first reports they sent me, the French and English didn't match, so I was waiting to make sure that we had the right one because I had 2 different ones. So I'll share this with the office and they can make the results public now that we've had a chance to talk about it. I don't want to read the entire report, but I will note a couple things. The total calls for the area in the first quarter were 365. The top criminal code offense for our area is property crime, and the top at 51, and the top non-criminal was traffic offenses at 146. I don't think any of these statistics surprise us, though. We make up 2.4% of the total calls that the RCMP receives for the Southeast region, and the entire region had a total of 15,275 calls in the first quarter. So the next step for Public Safety Committee is working on the emergency planning and discussions on public safety days for the municipalities. I'm proud to say that Sergeant Ricky LeBlanc was at the meeting, and when they asked him if he had any suggestions for what public safety days might look like, his response was, excuse me, the Family Fun Day in Maple Hills was a great example to follow, suggesting that the committee should resource from our municipality for ways to create their own. So great work for Deputy Mayor Martin in arranging the emergency service vehicles, and Chanel and the Community Center for putting it together. And on a final update, tomorrow I will be going to Toronto with some other board members from the Service Commission. We're going to be viewing 4 transportation and dispatch systems that are being used in regions similar to the size of the Southeast region. These models are something we're looking at as an alternative to public transportation, similar to, but in a larger scale to that of Urban Rural Rides program. I'm looking forward to seeing these models at work, and I'm hopeful that there will be something out there that our region can benefit from if we choose to roll one out. So more to come. Sorry that was so long. There's been a lot going on. Okay, so next up we have bylaws, motions, and resolutions, and the first item is the grant request. So we'll collect you when we're finished.
Okay, so at the Committee of the Whole, we presented a grant to the council for an amount suggested of $500 be given to the Irishtown Community Center for the creation of their outdoor skating rink. This is something that council did support last year. So if there's any questions, I can try to answer them.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, so can we have a mover on the... Councilor Gingras?
There we go. Be it resolved that council grants the following grant as per the grant policy P07. An amount of $500 will be given to Irishtown Community Center for the creation of a community outdoor skating rink.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Savoie. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of awarding the $500 grant to the Community Center for the outdoor skating rink, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, I'll go.
We'll put the orange reminder for people to wear their orange on, yeah. Also the food drive.
Should there be like a note? Just a point of order, should there be a note to explain why the vote was only 3-0?
Hannah's gonna update it after to show that Councillor Murray didn't attend.
No, that Councillor Martin had to step up.
Oh, that will be recorded as the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep. Okay. So the next item is the bylaw respecting police protection services.
Okay. So tonight, we're set to have the final reading of the Police Protection Service bylaw. I'm a little under the weather, so if there's somebody that would want to do the reading for me, it has to be read in its entirety. It's not that terrible.
Okay, so Councillor Jean has agreed to read the bylaw in its entirety. Oh, it's only 2 pages. You're good. You're good.
So we'll
Okay,
make
so
a-
we'll have to make a motion. Okay, Councillor Savoy. Go ahead. So, sorry, I think I said that wrong, guys. We are, oh yeah, number 1. Yep, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I move that we proceed with the reading in its entirety of bylaw A-07 for policing protection bylaw of the Maple Hills rural community.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Martin. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of reading bylaw A07 for police protection in its entirety, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Take it away, Councillor Jean.
Bylaw A-07, a bylaw respecting the provision of police protective services in Maple Hills rural community. The Council of Maple Hills, under the authority vested in it by Section 10, subsection 3 of Local Governance Act and amendments thereto, hereby makes and enacts this bylaw as follows. 1. Title. This bylaw may be cited as the Police Services Bylaw of Maple Hills Rural Community. 2. Definitions. In this bylaw, unless the context otherwise requires, municipality means Maple Hills Rural Community, council means the Council for Maple Hills, agreement means the Provincial Police Service Agreement between Maple Hills Rural Community and the Province of New Brunswick for the provision of police services. Parties means Maple Hills and the Province of New Brunswick. Police Act means the Province of New Brunswick's Police Act, Chapter P 9.2, and regulations thereunder and amendments thereto. 3. Responsibility. It is the municipality's responsibility pursuant to the Police Act to provide and maintain police services within the municipality as defined in Section 3, subsection 1. 4. Authority. The Council of Maple Hills entered into a provincial police service agreement with the Province of New Brunswick for the provision of policing services by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as enabled by the Police Act in the Province of New Brunswick. 5. Provision of police services. The municipality shall be policed by members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police under the terms of the Provincial Police Services Agreement in a manner consistent with detachment policing and the specialized services that operate in support of detachment policing as may be required from time to time. 6. Terms and conditions. The agreement shall be in full force and effective January 1st, 2025, until either party gives notice of termination or upon termination of the provincial police service agreement. B, the agreement may be extended or renewed for an additional period upon terms that are agreed to by both parties. C, a notice of termination of the agreement by the municipality shall include an alternate police services model as prescribed by the Police Act, which will be implemented by the municipality, and, if applicable, proof of a contractual agreement. D, notice of termination must be in writing and agreed and signed. E, the agreement cannot be modified, changed, or amended except by signed written agreement by both parties. 7, severability. If any part of this bylaw shall be held invalid, such part shall be deemed severable by the invalidity thereof shall not, okay, and the invalidity thereof shall not affect the remaining parts of this bylaw. 8, effective date. This bylaw comes into force on January 1st, 2025. Then first reading by title?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might have found a new task for Councillor Jean Gras.
So now we adopt the reading.
Okay, so it would now take a motion to adopt that reading. Do I have a mover on that item? Okay. Councillor Savoy,
I move that we adopt the reading in its entirety of bylaw A-07, Police Protection Bylaw for the Maple Hills Rural Community.
do I have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Martin seconds. Are we ready for the question?
Question?
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the reading in its entirety of bylaw A07, police protection, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. So can we keep going?
Yeah, so the next one is to proceed
By
with the
title
third
only.
reading by title. Yep.
Okay. All right, so our next step would be to proceed with the third reading by title only. Do I have a mover for that item? Moved by Deputy Mayor Martin. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councillor Savoy. Oh, yeah, sorry, we need the mover to read the motion. Sorry. That would be you, my friend.
I can read it by title, it's okay?
No, he didn't read the motion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I'm trying.
There we go.
There.
I move that we proceed with the third reading by title of bylaw A, section 7-A, bylaw respecting the provisions to police protective services in the Maple Hills rural community.
Okay, let's try that again. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councillor Savoy. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of proceeding with the third reading by title of bylaw A-07, a bylaw respecting the provision of police protective services in Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
I have it open 3 times. Okay, so I'll proceed with the third reading by title. Bylaw A07, a bylaw respecting the provision of police protective services in Maple Hills rural community. The Council of Maple Hills, under the authority vested in it by Section 10.3 of the Local Governance Act and amendments thereto, hereby make and enacts the bylaw.
Okay. So it would now take a motion to adopt the third reading by title of bylaw A-07-A, a bylaw respecting the provision to police protective services in Maple Hills. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Savoy. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Martin. Are we ready for the question?
Question?
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the third reading by title of bylaw A-07, a bylaw respecting the provision to police protective services in Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay. So for those in attendance, just so you know, the reason that the last one was an existing bylaw that we had through ELG, and all we've done is taken over the service of paying it direct instead of paying ELG to pay it for us. So nothing will change with the police service. This adoption of the bylaw just means that we've accepted responsibility to pay the bill for the police instead of ELG. The next item is the animal control services bylaw. Before we start on that one, I would like to say that that bylaw also previously existed, and it existed through the local service district, and that agreement has expired. We are adopting the exact same bylaw that existed yesterday, today. It's just that it existed under the local service district yesterday, and after today, it will exist under our municipality. We haven't changed it. We're not allowed to change it. Nothing can be different. We were told by the province, this is the bare minimum that you have to have for an animal control law. So we didn't have a say in this, but we have to proceed with it, so we will be proceeding with adopting this bylaw.
Okay. So I uploaded a new version today.
Okay.
Tonight, we're just going to proceed with the first and second reading if council so inclined. But I will have council maybe thoroughly read the French version, just to make sure that there's no typos. So if council is so inclined, we would move with, go ahead with the first reading by title.
Okay, so do we have a mover to proceed with the first reading by title of bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision of dog control services in Maple Hills?
No one wants to do this, we don't have a choice.
So moved by Deputy Mayor Martin. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councillor Savoy. Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision of the dog control services in Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Could we have the mover? Oh, no, I think we don't have to read. This one's by title. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so bylaw number A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision of dog control services in Maple Hills rural community. The Council of Maple Hills, under the authority vested in it through the Local Governance Act and amendments thereto, hereby make and enact this bylaw.
Okay, so it would now take a motion to adopt the first reading by title of bylaw A-08, the bylaw respecting provision of dog control services in Maple Hills. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Savoy. Do I have a seconder?
Looks like we're gonna be the popular ones.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Martin. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the first reading by title of bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision for dog control services in Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Do we wish to move to the second reading this evening?
We don't have a choice, we might as well.
Okay, it would now take a motion to move to proceed with the second reading by title of bylaw A-8, a bylaw respecting the provision of dog control services in Maple Hills. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Savoy. Do I have a seconder?
I second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Martin. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of proceeding with the second reading by title of bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision of dog control services in Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried.
We win the popularity contest.
Okay, so this is its second reading by title of bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision of dog control services in the Maple Hill rural community. The Council of Maple Hills, under the authority vested in it through the Local Governance Act and amendments thereto, hereby make and enact this bylaw.
Okay, it would now take your mover to adopt the second reading by title of bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision for dog control services in Maple Hills. Do I have a mover? Moved by Counselor Savoy. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Martin. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the second reading by title of bylaw A-08, a bylaw respecting the provision of dog control services in Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, next item on the agenda is the emergency mutual aid agreement. Let Hannah CAO Downey give a brief explanation before we move on.
Okay, perfect. So the emergency mutual aid agreement is between the City of Moncton, the City of Dieppe, the Town of Riverview, Town of Beau Rivage, Rural Community of Beausoleil, Regional Town of Cap Acadie, Town of Chandray, Village of Five Rivers, Village of Fundy Albert, Town of Grand Boctouche, Rural Community of Maple Hills, Village of Memram Cook, Municipality of Nouvelle Acadie, the Town of Salisbury, the Rural Community of Straight Shores, the Town of Tantramar, and the Community of Three Rivers. Shediac? Town of Shediac, yes, I'm sorry, it is listed. So in order for us to proceed to enter into this mutual aid agreement, we have to have a motion to proceed. The agreement is going to be signed by all of the people all of those municipalities that were mentioned. That same document has to be signed in its original form, so it'll be sort of traced around. So if council is so inclined, we would pass the motion to execute the agreement.
So do we have any questions on this before we proceed? I think we discussed it at length at the Committee of the Whole. Okay, so it would now take a mover to proceed with the emergency mutual aid agreement. So moved by Deputy Mayor Martin. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the emergency mutual aid agreement, show your consent by saying yes. Yes. Opposed, no. Okay, we can proceed with the.
Whereas an emergency mutual aid agreement has been prepared and presented for execution, be it therefore resolved that Maple Hills Council authorize the rural community to enter into an emergency mutual aid agreement between the rural community of Maple Hills and the City of Moncton, the City of Dieppe, the Town of Riverview, the Town of Beau Rivage, the rural community of Beausoleil, the regional town of Cap Acadie, and the Town of Chandray, the Village of Five Rivers, the Village of Fundy Albert, the Town of Grand Boctouche, the Village of Memram Cook, the Municipality of Nouvelle Acadie, the Town of Salisbury, the Town of Shediac, the Rural Community of Straight Shores, the Town of Tantramar, and the Community of Three Rivers, and that the Mayor and Clerk be authorized to execute all necessary documents and to affix the corporate seal thereto.
So just one amendment to that. It's Grand Boctouche, not Bear Swat.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so CAO Downey, do we have any unfinished business?
No, we just need to do a count on the motion.
Oh, sorry, I thought we asked for the question, but that's okay. All right, so we need to do the vote on the emergency mutual aid agreement. Are we ready for the question? It was seconded by Councillor David Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question? All those in favor of moving forward with the emergency mutual aid agreement, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so we don't have any unfinished business.
No.
So it would now take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a mover? So moved by Councillor Esty. Meeting adjourned.
Before we go, do we plan on attending the Remembrance Day event again?
So
Since it's gonna happen before next council. that's right.
CAO Downey and I discussed it. She is gonna get a wreath for me to lay at the Coliseum as we did last year, but anybody that wants to attend with me, welcome to attend. Okay?
Is that the one called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bring the kids every year, so let's go.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll be there with a wreath.
So, just
just so everyone in the room knows, because we went over the animal control, as the mayor mentioned. It was something that was already in place, wasn't really enforced. We don't have a choice by the province but to do the same thing. I have